It's time for this week's View from the Sideline. Here's Bryan Burchfield.
It's time for this week's View from the Sideline, my weekly interview segment with Sweetwater High School players and coaches. This week, I've got two guests in studio with me. I've got Meechie Oggs, junior defensive end and wide receiver, and senior wide receiver Brett Spurgeon. Guys, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing good today.
Brett, you doing all right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Meechie, we'll start with you. Meechie, you had a huge game. Well, both of y'all did last week. A huge game against Wartburg, but Meechie, we selected you our Dominos Player of the game. We had you with 74 yards receiving and 2 touchdown receptions. You had a sack, several tackles for losses, and a 79-yard takeaway run for a touchdown on defense. Did you have fun last week against Wartburg?
It was a lot of fun doing all that stuff.
Well, walk us through a couple of those big plays. First, the 67-yard touchdown reception score. Walk us through that play and tell us about it.
Well, at first it all happened when Trey Dawson had to come out for the game for an injury. And Coach, he looked at me and he said, "I'm throwing you a 9, go deep and catch it."
And that's what happened.
And I started off the line and I turned around and I grabbed it and I just went.
One more play we want you to walk us through is in the fourth quarter on defense. You took the ball away from the quarterback and ran 79 yards for a touchdown, and literally you took it away from him. Talk about that play.
Well, I didn't do it on my own. It was a team effort as my teammates came in and held him up while I pulled it out and ran.
You slowed up about 20 yards out of the end zone. Did you get tired? Was you being cocky? What was the deal?
Well, a lot of people yelled at me because they thought I was being cocky, but honestly, it was just the fourth quarter, and my legs started giving out.
Now, Brett, you had a big night as well. You had 130 yards receiving and 2 touchdown receptions. Great night. Tell us why you were able to get open so freely against Wartburg.
It was all about the play call. I trusted my quarterbacks to throw me the ball, and they trusted me to catch it. And that's all I was worried about, is catching the ball and getting in the end zone.
You mentioned getting in the end zone. You did that twice. First score, you had a 42-yard touchdown reception. Beautiful throw from Turpinen. Caught you right in stride. Good catch by you, and you finished. Walk us through that play.
Coach, he called the play on the sideline. I looked on my wristband, and it told me to run a fade. And when I took off from the go, I knew I had the cornerback beat, and Riley put it in the perfect spot. And I just caught it in stride and ran in the end zone.
Meechie, of course, as we mentioned, great night on both sides of the football. You're playing both ways. Tell us, what is your favorite side of the football to play on, offense or defense?
Well, I think defense is my favorite side to play on because they say defense wins championships, but offense wins games.
Brett, at receiver, you mentioned on one of those touchdowns it was a fade pattern. What's your favorite pattern to run? Is it a go route, run straight down the field, or do you like post pattern? Tell us about that.
On the deep routes, it's easier to throw the defensive backs off of track. You got more of the time to think about catching the ball, and it's all about judgment.
Brett, you're a senior. Let's step away from football for just a minute. What's been your favorite thing about being a student over there at Sweetwater High School?
The teachers and the principals. They all want us to succeed, and they do whatever they can to help us. That's about it.
Okay. Now let's get back to football. Tell us what's your favorite thing about playing football over there for Sweetwater?
Everybody's wanting to win this year. That's all we're focusing on, is we want to be a better team than we were in the previous years, and we want people to notice us.
Meechie Oggs and Brett Spurgeon, my guest on this week's View from the Sideline. All right, Meechie, I want to ask you the same couple questions away from football. What's your favorite thing about being a student at Sweetwater High School?
Well, I just love the school of SHS in general, and I like the teachers there, and I like my fellow peers, and just have fun.
All right, now what is your favorite thing about being a Sweetwater Wildcat on the football field?
Well, we all may joke around, and in practice we may be a little mean to each other, but on Friday nights we all come together as a family, and we play hard and don't give up.
Meechie, your first couple seasons as a Wildcat, you wore number 21. This season, you've chosen to wear number 42. Tell us about that.
Well, when I found out my great uncle was about to go, I figured it'd be a great way to honor him and to live up to his legacy.
Of course, your great uncle, Anthony Oggs, number 42, Sweetwater legend back in the 70s on the gridiron. Of course, Anthony passed away early last month, and so he will be missed. A great way to honor him by wearing his number, so good job doing that. Brett, this week's a big week. It's a non-region game, but it's Loudon. It's always a big-time game. How bad do you guys want to beat Loudon tonight?
Well, it's obviously a big rivalry game. We just want to show the people in our county what we can do and our potential that we have on the field and what we can do in playoffs.
Meechie, how important is this Loudon game tonight?
Well, it's very important when it's always a rivalry game. But what makes it even more important is that we've not been able to overcome them within 2 years, and we hope to change that this year.
So you guys tell me, what do you all have to do to beat Loudon tonight?
Well, we just got to work harder than the man across us, and we can't give up on plays, and we just got to push through even when we're tired, because they do have the numbers on us. But if we work hard and push through, I believe we can come out with a win.
Brett, give us some key things that you guys have to do tonight to get the win over Loudon.
We have to go in it having our confidence levels high, and we have to work as a team and as a unit.
Meechie, Brett, thank you for your time, and good luck tonight against Loudon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
That's Sweetwater junior defensive end and wide receiver Meechie Oggs and senior wide receiver Brett Spurgeon, our guest on this week's View from the Sideline. Both those young men had a great game last week against Wartburg. They'll need to have big games again tonight as the Sweetwater Wildcats take on the Loudon Redskins.
You've been listening to View from the Sideline. The Fairweather Financial pregame show is coming up next.